Welcome to the Boxing Bookie. We are back. It's good to be back. Glad I got everyone here today. Crazy weekend of boxing. We've had two great weekends of boxing. This is going to be a little quieter, guys. Before we get in, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow 3D Boxing blog, and all forms of social media. The Boxing Bookie comes at you for every single major fight, so you can consistently make money. So, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Smash the like button. Join the Patreon. Link is in the description. Just $5 a month gets the absolute best gambling advice. What up, Oscar? I'll be with you guys in a minute. Join the Patreon. Link is in the description. Just $5 a month gets you the absolute best gambling advice anywhere in the known boxing universe. So join the Patreon, get Lock of the Week, get access to the Discord. The Discord gets you the updated props. It gets you the live betting. It gets you the absolute best gambling advice. It's $5 a month. Guys, remember also, tip your gambling advisor. We hit on another parlay. We are absolutely killing it with these parlays. We hit a parlay this week. We hit it last week. We're doing fantastic on these parlays, guys. So please remember to tip your gambling advisor, of course. And after you guys do that, head on over to carnivalbar.com. That's carnivalbar.com. Use promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. That's promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. CarnivalBar.com. It's a meal in your pocket. The world's only high-fat, grass-finished beef bar that replaces a meal while on the move and stores for years. Get your travel autonomy and freedom back. That's CarnivalBar.com. Using promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. That's promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. CarnivalBar.com. It's a meal. It's the nutrition of a steak, the convenience of a bar. When you guys know that, head over to Texas Boxing Scene. That's Texas Boxing Scene. Please like, share, and subscribe to that channel as well. All proceeds from that channel go to autism research and recovery. All right, guys, let's get into today's show. We had a big weekend. I'm still seeing that from that parlay. I had a plus 1,000 parlay, plus 973 parlay. That got taken down because of that Patty Donovan decision, which is just like brutal. I had Puello, I had Richards, I had Patty Donovan, I had Gary Antoine Russell in it, and it got taken down on me because of Patty Donovan. That was brutal to watch. Just I'm still thinking about how $100 bet would have made me 973. Lost that, but made some money on the Lock of the Week parlay. So it was an all right week. All right, let me get into some of these. Harlem Eubank this weekend and a bunch of women's fights. Yes, Harlem Eubank and a bunch of broads. We're going to get into all of it. Take the over for the women fight. Always take the women on the women. Caroline Dubois, who I like, is fighting a tough Korean broad. Harlem Eubank is trash. He's another 30-year-old prospect. Agree, Rambo. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I've been watching Harlem Eubank for a few years. He's not impressive. Gary Estoy me Velasti. I don't speak English. I don't speak Spanish. Funky Tito. But thank you. I think. Who can translate that for me? His English is not good. He says. Oscar, what up, my dude? What up, Oscar? Can anyone in the chat translate this for me, please? Still hurt. Tank didn't get round 7 to 12. Would have got some good money. I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's talk about Tank. Couple of things I haven't talked about. When Tank's corner got up on the apron to wipe the grease out of his face, that's a disqualification. If you get up on the apron, that's a disqualification. Automatic. So not only did Tank get knocked down, which he was, that's not debatable, that's a knockdown. There has to be a disqualification because his corner jumped up on the apron and wiped off the grease from his face. Tank in the press conference said he took a knee. We all saw him take a knee. I don't really know what to make of that. At first, I wrote it off as, maybe, does LeBron James get the whistle in the fourth quarter? He does, right? He does. That doesn't mean the NBA is fixed. It doesn't mean the NBA is rigged. It means LeBron James gets the whistle in the fourth quarter. And I thought, okay, maybe that's what it was. And then I looked at it and said, well, maybe Steve Willis didn't know what the hell, like he was shocked. Like, what the hell is going on here? Maybe he was confused. I don't know. Then I'm just thinking, like, maybe there's something more to this. Maybe this is an issue. Maybe this is corruption. Like, he took a knee, his corner jumped up on the apron. That's a disqualification sight unseen. If you go back and you watch the Mike Tyson and Peter McNeely fight, I was just an example because everyone saw this. Tyson didn't get credited with the knockout. He got credited with a disqualification victory win because his corner jumped up on the apron and told the ref to stop the fight. Once you do that, it's a disqualification. So Lamont Roach should have won that fight by disqualification. That's one. Now, that would have been anticlimactical. I'm glad that didn't happen, but that's the rule. 2, if that's ruled a knockdown, Glenn Feldman and Steve Weisfeld score that fight 114-113 because Lamont gets credit for the knockdown and he gets the 10-8 round. Instead of winning that round 10-9, he wins it 10-8. That changes the outcome of the fight. If that's ruled a knockdown, Lamont Roach wins the fight. And some of y'all are happy and some of y'all have your parlays destroyed. So keep that in mind. Excellent boxing channel. Wish I was more tech savvy to use the Discord. The Discord is easy. Chinchilla. Send me a message on Patreon, Chinchilla, or send me an email at 3D Boxing Blog, just like the 3D Boxing Blog at Gmail. I'll get you hooked up in the Discord, my man. I will get you hooked up in the Discord. That's 3D Boxing Blog, just like the title at gmail.com. I'll get you hooked up in the Discord, Chinchilla. Yo, what up, Miran? What up, Miran? It's good to have you aboard. It's good to have you aboard. Rocket coming in with the $10 super chat. Gary, number one boxing and soul. I appreciate you, Rocket. I appreciate the $10 super chat. You're a good man. I appreciate that, Rocket. I do. Oscar the Grouch. Gary, did you hear Picasso has denied the final offer to fight Inoue on May 4th, and they're now actively looking for a replacement fight? Yes, I did. Let me address this, because this is big news for my boy Ramon Cardenas. That is 100% right, Oscar. Excellent reporting. Picasso turned down the fight. He turned down the Inoue fight. And the fight is going to my boy, Ramon Cardenas from San Antonio, 122-pounder. He was actually mandatory for Inoue. He was number 2. He was number 1. Or he was number 2, and there was no number 1. And he's supposed to fight another 3-ranked guy, and the winner would have been mandated to fight Inoue at 118. Inoue went to 122, so Cardenas went up to 122 as well. So Ramon Cardenas, and I have interviews with him and stuff. If you go to Texas Boxing Scene, you can listen to this. Ramon Cardenas has been chasing this fight for a while. He's been chasing it for a while. So we're going to get Ramon Cardenas and Inoue on that card. Also on that card, what the rumors has, it's been leaked. This is not official. But what's been leaked is Eddie Vasquez will be fighting Rafael Espinosa for Espinosa's title on that card as well, May 4th in Las Vegas. Guys, so check that out. That's big. That's a big card. Oscar the Grounds, yes. So thank you for that. Shout out to you, Oscar. The real Maziza, what do you think is next for Gary Antoine Russell? Great question. That's a great question. Let me take a look at the landscape of 140. I'm a huge Gary Antoine Russell fan. I told you, Rayo had nothing for him. I mean, nothing. I knew that fight was going to look like that. The problem at the division is the fighters there aren't How about this? Let me share this with you. I'm looking at the landscape at 140 on BoxRec. All right, I'm being intellectually lazy. Not fighting Haney. TV Lopez is over at Top Rank. Matias is going to be fighting for a world title. He ain't going to go over to Japan to fight Andy Hiroka. Barbosa's over at Golden Boy. Catterall's over at... Who's he fighting? You know, they just don't have a bunch of good fighters over there. You know, they just don't have a bunch of good fighters. Oh, Thunderlips is here. Thunderlips with the $10 super chat. I only bet $20 for both parlays, but they hit. A win is a win. Bigger bets come. I appreciate you, Thunderlips. Appreciate you. I gave Thunderlips 2 parlays. They both hit. I appreciate the $10 super chat, my man. I appreciate the $10. Yeah. Appreciate that. It's a really good question. I don't have a great answer for that. I don't know, man. Like, who do you guys want to see him fight next? Talking about the women's fights, I like Raven for the upset. I gotta do the tape. I haven't done the tape. I'm working on the tape now. I don't know a ton about Raven, but I'm gonna look into it, Miran. If you say so, I trust your take. What up, Hawk? Hawk, my boy in Australia. What up, Hawk? How you doing? Hawk from Jersey is now Hawk from Australia. Hope everything is good, man. It's been a while since you've been in my chat. Appreciate seeing you, man. It's good seeing you. Did you watch Tank Davis fight last night? Or I guess this morning, where you were? I say, I like your show. You know boxing. I appreciate that, Funky Tito. I appreciate that. It's all good. It's all good. I get it. I get it. Funky Tito, I am very happy to have found your program. Very knowledgeable. Sorry, my English is not good. Oh, thanks. Hawk, do you speak Spanish? Yeah, or did you just like Google Translate that? Do you speak Spanish, Hawk? Bivol Benavidez, who's coming out winning? I always pick against Benavidez, so I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to take Benavidez. So I don't think that fight's going to happen, honestly. I still think he's going to fight Beterbiev for the 3rd time. Gracias. Yes, I got it all in my chat. Thank you. And I hit my Hernandez Walker Matias parlay. There you go. Hernandez. What did that pay? That's a good parlay. That's a really good parlay. Cindy, Dubois, Price, Nick Ball, easy money, but it's over 2 weeks. Not much boxing next few weeks. It's not a whole bunch of boxing, but remember, next Wednesday, so a week from Wednesday, we got that Keith Thurman card too. Keep that in mind. So we got some boxing. It's not a lot. The last 2 weeks have been crazy. But yeah, this week is a little step back. Matias has to fight Paro again. Agreed. The first fight was great. Let's do it again. Appreciate you, Thunderlips. Appreciate you. Segu, he will fight Pitbull. Yeah, just recycle them. Well, yeah, you're probably right. That's probably true, Segu. I guess Gary Antoine Russell will probably fight Pitbull Cruz. I'm not blown away by that. Gary should rematch playoff. You know, that's interesting. He's like stylistically, I would pick Gary to win a rematch. I'm really high on Gary Antoine Russell, always have been. Is that just stylistically a bad fight for him? And like maybe he shouldn't? Like, you know, I don't know. Like, Puello is a pain in the ass to fight. I would like to see it, but like at the same time, if I'm making Gary Russell's career, can't I just move on and just blow other people out? Like, Puello's a pain in the ass. Like, Puello can be to Gary Antoine Russell what Ken Norton Jr. was to Ali. Just a pain in his ass that he's never going to look good against. And stylistically, it's all wrong for him. I get what you're saying. I would like to see there's not a ton of other fights for him. But it's just Pollo is a pain in the ass to fight, man. Like, it might just be all wrong for Gary Antoine Russell. Hit the like button. Really, really, really good point from Rocket. I appreciate that, Rocket. Really good point. Chinchilla says, who do you think Tank fights next? I think Tank rematches with Lamont Roche. I think it's Roche. He had a fight lined up. It was Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is fighting at Times Square on the same card as Devin Haney. I don't know. I don't know who he had lined up. I don't know, but I would bet dollars to donuts, Chinchilla. He's fighting Roach next. That was such a good fight. It was controversial with the knockdown. It was controversial with the decision. I would be shocked if we didn't get to see it. And who wouldn't want to see it again? Like who wouldn't want to see it again? The reason I ask is he looks so good against Rayo that I think he can legitimately make a run in the 140-pound division. But I don't think anyone will take the fight. He's too big. I agree. Like, you're probably right. It's probably going to be Isak Cruz. And an Isak Cruz fight is fine, but we already know who wins it. And it's not really a step up, right? Like, it's a step sideways. Like, Rayo, Cruz, they're all kind of like the same. Gary Russell's going to beat those guys. Gary, what do you think PBC is not aboard the Riyadh season train? I don't understand it either. I don't understand anything PBC is doing. I think PBC, like, I'm not a hater. I don't care who the promoter is. Lou DiBella once told me, Gary, no one cares who the promoter is, right? To me, this is, I don't know, but PBC needs to get on board, right? Like, I understand what PBC is doing. They put out 8 shows a year. Every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, they put out a show. I don't really get what PBC is doing. They're very fringe in the boxing world at this point. They have a ton of good fighters, but like, they don't give you anything. They don't give you anything. Tank is gonna fight Jake Paul next. Can you give a quick summary of your history, love of boxing? Well, I mean, yeah, just real quick. It's like twofold, right? Like, I love boxing as a kid. Holyfield Riddick Bowe 1 was the first fight that got me really into boxing. Then I saw Pernell Whitaker fight. I love Pernell Whitaker, and I was just hooked on the boxing. At the same time, as a kid, I always loved fighting. Like, I always wanted to get into fights. Like, normal kids, do you want to play catch? No. Do you want to, race bikes or play tag? No, I want to fight. Do you want to fight? I just love to fight. So it was a natural fit. I got into boxing at about 10 years old, and it's been a love affair ever since. It's yeah. So that's my story in a nutshell. Lauren Price is really good odds. I got minus 500. I think that KO is worth a shot. Jonas is 40. Yeah, but I'm taking Price too. Minus 500 is not terrible. I definitely pick her to win. I'm doing the tape right now. I like Jonas. She did just beat Mayer. Like, that was last year, right? So, yeah, Price is going to win. I agree. I think minus 500 is fair value. I'm going to take Price. I'm going to parlay that with Dubois, and we'll take a look at the rest of the week. Take the overs. Now, the question that is, who are you taking? Tank versus Roach 2. I put it like this. I think Roach threw a perfect game. He pitched a perfect game, and he still only got a draw. If you watch him, he would not open up. He angled out. He limited Tank to one shot at a time. Tank attacked his body to try to get Roach to drop his guard. He wouldn't do it, right? He stayed up. He rotated out, pivoted. He didn't open up. He didn't give Tank the opportunity to knock him out. I keep saying it, right? Like, pitching, fighting Tank Davis is like pitching to A-Rod. If you make your perfect pitches, you can get him out. He's a Mr. A-Rod. You can pitch to him. You can get him out. If you make all the perfect pitches. Bonds, you couldn't pitch to him. If you make Greg Maxwell, Texas, you make the perfect pitch, he hits out of the park, right? With A-Rod, if you hit your spots and you made your pitches, you could get him out. If you made a mistake, it was in the second deck. right? And that's how I view Tank Davis. And that's like people thought Shakur could beat him because Shakur could pitch a perfect game. No one thought Roach was capable of doing what he did, not for 12 rounds. Sooner or later, he would slip up. He would engage too much. He would get too confident. And I was texting with Muscles during the fight. I'm saying, okay, 8th, 9th round, Roach is starting to get more confident. He's starting to get more confident. And he's going to get knocked out. And he didn't, right? He didn't open up. He didn't exchange. He didn't square up. He fought the perfect fight. Despite fighting the perfect fight, he only managed to draw. So I'm going to take Tank in the rematch. Tank has already started that his next fight will not be a rematch with Lamont. In his press, what's your response? Yeah, I hear that. I do. Here's what I would say. He doesn't make his fights. If PBC tells him you're fighting Roach next, guess what? He's fighting Roach next. Like, that's what it is, you know? So he was probably told he's fighting someone next under the assumption. We all assumed that he was going to be. Is there anyone listening to this show right now that didn't assume that Tank Davis was going to beat Lamont Roach? We all thought he was going to beat Lamont Roach. He was a minus 1,600 favorite. He was a 16-1 favorite by the time that bell rang. So we all thought Tank Davis was going to win. He was in everybody's parlay. He was in everybody's lock. We all thought he was going to win, and he didn't. So I would say my instinct is that he's still going to fight Roach next. If I'm wrong, we can have that conversation then. But I think that fight, as entertaining and as competitive as it was and as controversial as it was, I think we're getting it again, Oscar. I think we're going to see that fight again. Gary, next Subaru Matias. I would love that. If we could get Subaru Matias, are you asking? Yeah. You love Super Matias. I love Matias too. Matias just won an eliminator. It was WBA. It was a WBA eliminator. What the hell was it eliminated for? It was a. Let me look it up. I'm not tripping. The Matias fight was an eliminator. It was a world title eliminator, was it not? It was for the WBA. It was that was a WBA eliminator, was it not? The WBA world champion is Gary Antoine Russell. Is that right? WBO is T.O. IBF is Richard Hitchens. WBA is Gary Antoine Russell, and WBC is Puello. Cindy is a debut Olympian. She's like minus 800 to minus 1,000, depending on the bookmaker. That's amazing value. You'll never get odds for that. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I don't have it. I'm going to pull up the Pro Box odds in a minute. The professional boxing odds. The fight that got me into boxing was Jermaine Taylor, Winky Wright. Awesome. I was only 6 or 7 at the time, and it was my first profile I ever went to. That's awesome. Chuchilla says my grandpa was a pro fighter in the 30s and 40s. Was Billy Kahn's main sparring partner, and also went the distance with Ezra Charles twice. That's awesome. I've loved the sport my whole life. Yeah, I got into it young, and it's been a love affair ever since. He's fighting Jake May 3rd. My guess then. I don't know, man. I'm not going to comment on that. Agreed. Lamont said that he was talking to Tank in the ring around 11 or 12. Tank told the judges are not going to let you in. That shit sound fishy as hell. Setup vibes. Maybe, look, things in life are fixed. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying this was. I'm saying things in life are rigged. Maybe this was rigged. I don't know. Look, I was okay with a draw. The draw seemed okay. Valenzuela. Okay. Jake is 6 foot, 200 pounds. Tank is 5'5", 135. I don't know how they could ever be remotely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Tank walks around about 142, 143 pounds. Like, I don't I don't know. It was IBF eliminator? Was it IBF? I thought it was WBA. I don't know, man. It seems to me that eliminators don't mean anything because they don't even. No, I agree. I know. I know. I know. You're right. No, this is facts. This is true. Miran says who got me to boxing was Amir Khan. He was huge in the UK after the Olympics, being Muslim as well. Yeah, so I was hooked ever since. Khan was a fighter. What a fighter, man. Yeah, Khan was great. Paulie, he beat. I remember when he beat Paulie Malignaggi at the Garden, and Paulie is my paisan. That's my dude. And I sparred with Paulie back in the day, years ago at Gleason's. And I thought Paulie was going to beat him, and then he lost every single round and got stopped. But Khan was great. Unless Roach knocked him out, he was not going to win that fight. Sad. Did you? Yeah, I took a poll, and you all had Roach winning like 60-something%. So, how long has Andy Hiroka been the interim? Well, let me look it up. After defeating Barroso, so when was the Barroso fight? September 3rd. He became the interim champion September 3rd after the knockout of Barroso. So, 6 months or so. Who would you like in the team? I keep betting against Barbosa. I may take Barbosa in that. Let's make it. You guys are all going to take Tio because he's more explosive, he's more powerful, he's more entertaining. I don't know. I may take Barbosa in that. I absolutely may take Barbosa in that. In all fairness, I thought the cards were really fair. If the knockdown counted, Roach would have been the winner. So I don't think the judges were on a fix. I just think it was a very poor refereeing. It was really, obviously, it was a look. Steve Willis is considered the best ref, and the New York State Athletic Commission is considered the gold standard for athletic commissions in the U.S. at least. And that's what you got. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not saying it was rigged. I agree with Miran. I don't know the refereeing. And I pointed this out on my stream last night. The two biggest fights last night, the outcome was determined by bad refereeing. In the Lewis Crocker-Patty Donovan fight, the outcome was determined by bad refereeing. In this fight, the outcome was determined by bad refereeing. It's not good. The ref should not be determining the fight. Barbosa seems to always surprise me. Yeah, I'm going to take Arnold Barbosa. Did Tio lose to Sandor Martin? Okay, so technically he won. He got the decision. So technically he won. Everyone watching the fight thought he lost. I agree. You never know which Tio shows up. Barbosa can absolutely win that. That's what I'm saying with Tio. The fact that mandatories don't even exist is to keep the sanctioning bodies from protecting fighters, right? People like Canelo shouldn't even have a choice in who he fights if there is a mandatory. I agree. But the problem is, okay, so Canelo is bigger than the title. Like, with or without a belt, Canelo's fighting $30 million fights. So he'll just get rid of the belt. And then what happens to the organization? The sanctioning body then loses their 3% cut, right? The sanctioning body gets cut of the title fight. 3% of Canelo is a lot of money. They want that. So, okay, don't worry about your mandatory. Just fight whoever. And we want 3% of that. And that's why you get this. Felix Trinidad versus De La Hoya. That was 1999. I was like an 11th grader, I think. It was like the biggest fight ever at that time, not heavyweight fight ever. I love that fight. I was a Trinidad guy. I remember at that time, 15, 16 years old, whatever I was, being in the gym for hours trying to throw the left hook, trying to throw that left hook like Tito Trinidad. Yeah, I was a Tito guy for sure too. All right. There's always fights down on the level of Tito always fights down to the level of whoever he fights, with the exception of Omar. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. All right. Well, he fought up to the level of Loma in that fight. I want to look at one thing. real quick. So I'll share this with you guys real quick. I want to look at this real quick. Right now, all DraftKings has on their book Dubois and Price. You can parlay that. It's not bad. It's minus 455. Let's get something better. We don't have any props on that, do we? No. Okay. Let's see what else we can look at. All right, so FanDuel has everything out. All right. Harlem, Eubanks, Jerome McKenna will do that. Yeah, we'll get some videos out. There's just not a lot. There's not a lot this week, guys. I'll get as many videos out as I can. You guys let me know. Right now, I'm working on Price and Jonas. That's what I'm doing now. Then I'll do Eubank and McKenna, and I'll do Carolyn Dubois, and I'll do these three for sure. And then we'll take it from there. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's what we got. The rest of the week, we'll see what else drops. There's a Pro Box card. They're not a Pro Box card this week. Guys, please smash the like button for me. Please smash the like button. But it's obviously a very quiet week. Boots and Jonas. Boots. Boots. He refed his own fight like Crowley used to. He would tell Terry O'Connor when he's been low blowed. I remember when Tia was fighting Taylor. I really liked Taylor in that fight, and it was a complete shutout. Yeah, it was. He fought well in that fight. Who is Ray Ford fighting? He was supposed to fight Eddie Vasquez. That's off. I don't know because Eddie Vasquez, Ray Ford. Hang on. He's fighting on that Boots card, right? Let me see. He was supposed to fight Vasquez. That fight fell apart. Vasquez beat him 3 years ago, and he's been wanting a rematch since. I don't know if they gave him an opponent. They must have because the fight's relatively soon. That was always me trying to replicate that same hard hook. Yeah, that's that Roy Jones threw. He can't replicate that kind of. No, you can't. You can try, though. As a kid, you can try. You can spend hours and hours and hours of your day trying. I mean, the hooks that he would throw, where he would throw 5 to 8 hooks with the same, yeah, man, it was crazy. It was wild. I've never seen anyone throw a 5 combination punch of all hooks like Roy Jones. What's going on with this? I'm having some internet issues. I don't know who Ray Ford is fighting. I know he got a replacement. BoxRec is being ridiculous. Let me see if I can just do this. I don't know, man. I'll try to get to the answer to that. Guys, I'm gonna wrap. I'll be going for. Do you remember Clever? Do you remember Cleverly versus Kovalev? Terry O'Connor carried Clev back to his corner. Yeah, I remember that. I do. What's your opponent on opinion on Berlanga versus Williams next week? I got to get to the film. I give Williams a shot. I'll tell you that. I give Williams a real shot in that fight. Antonio Cardenas hasn't looked good. I don't know. He has not. He has not looked good. He has not. I know a guy that was close to Roy, and when he got all the kids who would come into the gym wanted to fight like him, and they had to explain to them that they couldn't fight. No, you can't fight like Roy. Roy was something different, man. Roy was absolutely different. They told the kids that Roy did most things wrong as a boxer, but he got away with it because of his athleticism. Yeah. His athleticism was the best ever. The best I'd ever seen of any professional athlete in any sport. What's the parlay for next week? Should be easy money. I don't have it yet. Bear with me, Rocky. You're in the chat. I think you're in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, message me. I'll get you. I'll get you the access. But I haven't put the parlay together. But I will get you that parlay. I will get you that parlay for sure. All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap. I appreciate Rocket. I appreciate Thunderlips. For those super chats, I appreciate it. I'm gonna wrap this up. If you guys have no last minute questions, comments, thoughts, super chats, I'm gonna end this now. Have a good night. Have a good night too, Real. It is, what is it? It is March 2nd, 2025. And I'll be back every night this week. I'm going to try to go live every night this week. I'll probably take one night off. But it is March 2nd, 2025 from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.
Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3D Boxing is on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.